Good evening, Trenton Thunder fans, and welcome to another presentation of Thursday Night Thunder presented by MCIA. As we take a look at beautiful Crystal Falls Stadium on a beautiful night here in July, we're excited to have Thunder baseball back here. The Bowie Bay Sox take on your Trenton Thunder next.
America. Well, God set his grace on me. Oh, yes, he did, and he crowned that good. Well, don't you remember? Civic brotherhood from sea to shining sea. You know, y'all can just hum a little bit
And now it's time for the two most famous words of all of baseball.
Play ball! Play ball!
And here we go, Thunder fans. Clark Schmidt takes the mound tonight for Thursday Night Thunder, presented by MCIA. I'm John Bodnar, alongside Bryan Rock. Bryan, how are you tonight?
I'm doing great, John.
Good to hear. Another week has gone by here in this pandemic, and we're excited to bring Thursday Night Thunder to the fans as Clark Schmidt delivers the first pitch of the game, 95-mile-an-hour fastball for a strike. Bryan, we get to see the Bowie Bay Sox here tonight, who the Trenton Thunder took down in the Eastern League Championship last year. So maybe a little bit of revenge for the Bay Sox here as we get going in late July.
Yeah, a little revenge for Bowie as they can get a chance at taking a couple wins from the Thunder in this series. The Thunder obviously coming in here first in the East with a 53-44 record. Bowie struggling a little bit as they're third in the West. One game over 500, 49-48 on the year so far. So Bowie is definitely trying to turn it around, trying to get into that second or first position to get into a playoff spot too. Hopefully a rematch of the 2019 Eastern League Championship to try to take one back from the Trenton Thunder.
Absolutely, as Schmidt delivers here, and it's a ground ball over to second base. Easy flip to first, and that is our first out of the game. As you mentioned, the Trenton Thunder first in the here, Bowie third place. As we look at the Bowie Bay Sox lineup here tonight, guys that really stick out: Adley Rutschman, the number 1 overall pick back in the 2019 draft out of Oregon State, as well as Yusnel Diaz, who was the centerpiece of the Manny Machado deal, if you remember a few years back when he was traded to the Dodgers. So Bowie putting together a pretty good lineup. Just hasn't seen the results that they might have thought as they entered the 2020 season.
Yeah, the Orioles have kind of been doing that, loading up on prospects as we see Mason McCoy fly out to right field there. And as you mentioned, here comes Rutschman, that first overall pick for the Baltimore Orioles. There's a lot of talk around this guy. They think he's going to be their backstop for many years to come in Baltimore, as that 8-game hit streak he had makes it 9 with a first inning single to left field. So they're really trying to build these young prospects, get them through the system, and get them up to Baltimore. Kind of doing it the right way, so to speak. Getting all those prospects via trade and the draft, and just growing them all the way through to get to Baltimore and make it a young core moving forward for the Orioles to compete in that very explosive AL East.
Absolutely, and Rutschman, a big name that people are going to recognize, the 4th overall prospect in all of Major League Baseball. But another familiar name steps into the box here is Ryan Rifkin, the son of Cal Rifkin Jr., longtime Baltimore Oriole, fan favorite. Major League Baseball favorite, to be totally honest. And his son Ryan, as he swings on a pitch here from Schmidt. Ryan right now, second in home runs on the team with 17 home runs, 52 RBIs, really putting together a good year. I guess the pedigree, and we've really seen it throughout the Eastern League and in our division, especially with New Hampshire with Biggio, as Ripken flies this one to center field, and that is going to take care of the first inning. As we take a break, and coming up next, a special guest. So stay tuned, Thunder fans. We are done here in the first inning. Thunder coming up to bat next. And we are back here on Thursday Night Thunder as we take a look at Cody Sedlock, former first round draft pick for the Baltimore Orioles. 8-6 record on the year, pitching pretty well. Bryan, let's take a look at the Thunder lineup.
Yeah, leading off as stepping into the box, also carrying an 8-game hit streak, is Ben Ruda playing left field. Boyd Park bats second, playing second base. In the 3-hole, Esteban Florial in center field. Batting fourth, first baseman Brandon Wagner. Doing the catching and batting fifth, Kellen Degland. The shortstop, Kyle Holder, bats next. The DH, Chris Gittens. In right field, Zach Sainer. And leading out the Trenton Thunder roster is Max Burt at third base.
Solid lineup for the Trenton Thunder, as our lineup sponsor tonight is St. Francis. But let's get our special guest here. Joining us is Adam Giardino, former Trenton Thunder radio broadcaster. I spent some time over the last couple of seasons with the Scranton Rail Riders as well as UConn baseball. Adam, how are you?
I'm awesome. Great to be back here in the press box at Crystal Falls.
Yes, absolutely. A little different than when clearly changed a little bit around. We now have a nice little hotel out in right field, as you can see there. But it's good to be back. Obviously an experienced podcaster like yourself. It's fun to have you in the booth as Bryan and I are on our second call ever doing Trenton Thunder baseball. So to offer tips all the way here. Adam, have you back. You spent 2013 to 2017 with the Thunder, and like I said, the past couple of seasons with the Rail Riders. So a lot of experience here with the New York East organization. Tell us a little about your time and what has made the time in Trenton and Scranton so special.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Game 2 turns into Game 1000 really quickly. So just make sure you enjoy each and every one of those. Yeah, the 7 years I've spent with the Yankees organization has been really unique. And, oh boy, what a play right there by Yusniel Diaz. Unbelievable catch made by that centerpiece you talked about in the Machado deal. The time with the Yankees organization is so special. It's the famed organization in baseball and one of the top franchises in all of sports, whether that's here, European soccer, whatever it may be. And there's a reason for that. And as someone who grew up a Boston Red Sox fan from Massachusetts, it's been really nice to be part of the Yankees. And specifically my time with Trenton was such a great opportunity. It started with a bang with the championship my first year in 2013. And then to see all these guys that are currently doing it for New York with Garrett Sanchez, Aaron Judge, Gleyber Torres, all those guys putting on a Thunder uniform and making their way up to the big league. It's been a special time to be part of the Yankees organization.
Absolutely, I'm sure. As we have 2 quick outs and Florial knocks here. Adam, I guess one of the big things is, we've seen a lot of success in the Yankees organization, with the championships. And when we think about the Yankees, a lot of us think to just the sheer volume of championships they've won and the old mantra of the Yankees buy their championships. That has clearly a switch. And the Yankees are now so invested in their farm system. What is it about the Yankees organization that they just seem like they can't do any wrong?
Yeah, and it really has to do with the technology that they've invested in, and every organization is following the Yankees model now with just being able to have all this data available from minor leaguers, and that's allowed the Yankees to get a Luke Voit and go get Giovanni Urshela, guys that are huge parts of what the Yankees did last year and moving forward, and they got them for bargain basement prices. So the Yankees, not only are they getting a Gary Sanchez, drafting an Aaron Judge in the first round, getting a Gleyber Torres in a trade for Aroldis Chapman, but they're also filling in the gaps with these guys that are, afterthoughts in other organizations and huge parts of the Yankees now.
As we see a fly out to right field there, you mentioned a couple of like Urshela, and was that really an MVP candidate the first last year, which was remarkable as a guy that was kind of cast off. So it is amazing to see what the Yankees have done, and the AA roster is so talented. And I think that's the reason we've seen the Trenton Thunder in the playoffs for the last 4 or so years, and multiple runs in the multiple runs at the championship, and finally capturing it again last year. So take us through, you spent a number of years here with the Thunder. What's a couple of memories that you mentioned the championship in 2013? What are a couple of your other favorite Trenton Thunder memories?
It's funny, the broadcaster that I worked with in 2013, Josh Maurer, he's with the Pawtucket Red Sox right now. And he and I actually chatted for about an hour the other day on the phone and just sort of caught up. Actually, Josh, Thunder fans might be interested. He actually had coronavirus at the end of March, and he's healthy. He's fine now. But he was kind of one of the first people, before it really blew up. He got it at conference tournament time. He does Boston College basketball. So Josh is okay and recovered, but we were reliving the 2013 season. And in that run, there was one game in particular, Game 1 against the Binghamton Mets was it was unbelievable. It was an extra inning game where Noah Syndergaard was the starter for Binghamton, and Tyler Austin called him out before the game, basically saying, we're not worried about him. First inning, Austin hits a 2-run double off of a 98-mile-an-hour fastball from Syndergaard, and that set the tone. The game went to extras, and Binghamton scored twice in the top of the 10th. In the bottom of the 10th, against a closer, Jeff Walters, who had recorded 42 saves, which was an Eastern League record that year, the Thunder went 2 outs, nobody on, and then recorded 5 straight hits and scored 3 runs on 5 hits to walk off with the win. That year, the Thunder didn't lose in the postseason. They won all 6 games, and that was Game 1. So you wonder what the whole thing could have been different if many of those pieces didn't come together. So that's certainly one game that really sticks out to me.
That's awesome. And another game that I recall, and this isn't your time with the Thunder, this is moving to your time with Scranton, is here, and I believe down to the last game of the season, or one of the last games of the season, to see if they would qualify for the playoffs last year. In Trenton, we were monitoring, right, the one-game playoff game. We were monitoring closely here in Trenton because Luis Severino was coming around to potentially rehab, and it was like, will he go to Scranton? Will he go to Trenton? So we were, actually pulling hard for against Scranton because we wanted to guarantee ourselves that Luis Severino playoff appearance. But a little bit of excitement in Scranton during that one-game playoff game, huh?
Well, I hope you feel terrible about yourself because you got Severino and you rooted against the Rail Riders anyway. And yeah, Scranton won. That was Irvin Santana got the start for Syracuse, so major league caliber arm, and it was 6-1. No, it was 7-1 going into the bottom of the 7th inning. Rail Riders had just 1 hit, and then in the bottom of the 7th, they scored 5 times. They made it a 7-6 game. You thought, okay, you're back in this. You've got 6 outs left to work with offensively. And then you give up 6 runs in the top of the 8th inning, and it's over. And you're down 7 runs, and you go out there and you put 8 runs up in the bottom of the 8th inning, and it was just impossible. I don't know, in my 7 years in the Yankees system, I think maybe there was 1 inning that the Thunder had an 8 or 9 run inning. Remember that, and so those don't happen often, much less when you need it to extend your season. And it was really incredible, and that got us onto the postseason in Durham. And they got swept by the Durham Bulls, but just that one game, that's going to be hard to erase from my mind for a while.
Absolutely. I remember just following along, like the game cast, and I was just like, this really can't be happening. It was remarkable, and it was truly fun to follow along. And we are moving along pretty quickly here in this game. It's the bottom of the second, 2 outs as Wagner grounded out and Deglin flied out in the game. Now Kyle Holder here in the box for the Trenton Thunder. So a pretty quick game. We've seen some fun games here on Thursday Night Thunder so far, and the walk-off victory is the one that sticks out as a strikeout from Kyle Holder. But we will go to the top of the third with a 0-0 score. And we are back here for Thursday Night Thunder, presented by MCIA. I'm John Bodnar alongside Bryan and our special guest, Adam Giardino. Bryan, Thunder so far not really able to get anything going. Luckily, neither is Bowie. We've seen Clark Schmidt here on the mound tonight pitching well, but in the Thursday Night Thunder series really hasn't pitched well so far this year. He's 8-7 record, but that 4.84 ERA, not something that we'd thought we'd see from Clark Schmidt.
Yeah, unfortunately this year, just he hasn't had it completely like he had at the end of last year when he did came up from Tampa to join us towards the end of the season and into that playoff run, as we talked so much about. Hopefully this helps him kind of get everything going moving forward with a fly out here to start the 3rd inning, and hopefully he can keep this moving along like this. That way we can get these Thunder bats going and try to get some runs across.
Absolutely. Schmidt, one of the Yankees' top prospects. Adam, where do you see Clark Schmidt, pitching in 2020 if we're able to resume here, and where do you see his future in this Yankees system?
Yeah, certainly as this season approaches game 100 here on MLB The Show, I don't think Clark Schmidt's going to be on Trenton's roster certainly 100 games into the season, and it would have been surprised maybe if he even opened the year with Trenton. Clark is a guy that, with his pedigree from University of South Carolina, he's just a guy that could be up in the big leagues by mid-season this year if, obviously if we had played this string out the way it was going, just because he's got that SEC experience, first-round pick coming off Tommy John surgery, and, if he's showing what he can do, I think the Yankees will be quick to promote him. He's not a 20-year-old international signee. This guy, he knows what he's doing out there.
Absolutely. As we see Ivan Cortez single to right. So a little bit of trouble here to start the inning, but I'm hopeful not too much that Clark Schmidt can't work out of. Thunder obviously have been loaded with pitching prospects. Who would you say, where do you see this Yankee rotation going? Obviously, a lot of established guys in that rotation, and a guy that we've seen, a younger guy like Jordan Montgomery, that was hopeful to crack the rotation, but a lot of good, strong arms coming up through the system as well. How do you kind of see this Yankee rotation shaping up over the next year or 2 years?
Honestly, with it only goes so far as what Luis Severino is able to do and whether he's healthy, and that's a huge piece, a huge question mark to what the Yankees rotation can really look like. And I know that every Thunder fan would have looked at Davy Garcia and thought he could be up in the big leagues this year. He struggled in Scranton last year. I didn't get to see the Davy Garcia that you guys had seen in person, where he was striking out almost anyone he saw. He was participating in no-hitters, just putting up some of the best AA performances in Trenton Thunder history, pitching performances in Thunder history. So he's still in that mix, but he's yet to prove it at AAA. So, pump the brakes a little bit on Davy Garcia, but he should be somewhere in that discussion as well.
Yeah, as we see a sac fly here. And we talked. John and I talked about that last week as the dominance of David Garcia here in Double A, and like you said, just struck out anybody he saw, and then went up to Scranton and struggled. You got to see him a little bit up there in Scranton. What's something that the Yankees fans can look forward to seeing in Garcia, and what was it that he needed to do better to really dominate at the AAA level like he did down here in Trenton?
Yeah, it was velocity. I mean, his velocity was just down, and it was just fatigue more than anything. We haven't heard any reports pop up in the offseason about him needing, a surgery or something to clean out a shoulder, and he's just a young guy that hadn't thrown a whole lot of innings in any one season. And I think by the time he got promoted, he just didn't have a whole lot left. So it's just building that strength up. That when you do that, then all of a sudden your off-speed stuff looks a whole lot better. So the fact that he was sitting 91 to 93 with his fastball, I don't think we ever saw him go 96, 97, which is what he was doing in Double A early in the year. So I think it's just a matter of coming out fresh, building up that endurance, and that will be the key for his success this year once it gets underway.
Definitely a lot to look forward to in the Yankees' future. As we see Rutschman back in the box here with a runner on second. So this is exactly what Bowie fans and Baltimore Oriole fans are hoping for, is as we see Rutschman step in and try to get the job done. But instead, a weak flyout here, it looks like, to Brandon Wagner. And that will conclude the top of the third. We will pause briefly, and we'll be right back after this. Welcome back, Trenton Thunder fans, as we are on Thursday Night Thunder, presented by MCIA. Chris Gittens steps into the box here. Gittens on fire as of late. He's batting .284 on the year with 12 home runs, 60 RBIs, the Eastern League MVP from a season ago. Has a lot of raw power that we've seen. And as Adam Giardino still with us here, Adam, what do you like about?
I think the fact that he's seventh in this lineup is, we'll have to talk to the manager about that. The reigning MVP gets bumped down to the spot. His calling card is his opposite field power. And just talking to guys that had bounced up and down between the level last year, a guy like Zach Zahner asked him about what Gittens does so well, and that was what he said. And he said it's almost a joke how little Gittens actually gets around and pulls home runs. So I think that there's a whole lot of potential and power still to be tapped in his bat.
But like any power hitter, we see a strikeout there from Gittens as he goes down swinging to start the inning. Zahner stepping into the box, and we commented on his shoe choice last week as we see a lazy fly ball here. Adam, would you rock those sneakers? Those bright yellow cleats, would you rock those?
It's funny, I actually owned bright yellow sneakers in 6th grade and my social standing never recovered, so I'd be a little hesitant to try it again.
I will never forget, I bought the Tracy McGrady bright blue sneakers, and I don't think I really ever heard the end of that one amongst my friend group. Now, I mean, I would probably wear them every day walking around the ballpark and, truly standing out. But yeah, definitely the middle school to high school crowd wasn't always friendly. So I could see, Zach Zahner with his bright yellow cleats, truly making a statement.
Yeah, knowing Zach and the three of us kind of know him over the past couple of years that have been up and down. As we see Max Burke get a hold of one and laces one into right center for Thunder's first hit of the game so far. We know Zach pretty well.
And look at there, Bryan, rookie coming out of the dugout.
Oh,
our first time rookie getting a little impatient today, and rookie Arm & Hammer Pet Care products are proud to be the official sponsor of Rookie this season. Check out the complete line of Arm & Hammer Pet Care products for your dog or cat at armandhammer.com or at your local supermarket or pet store.
Yeah, as I was saying with Zahner, those bright yellow cleats really fit his personality. He's a real jokester in the clubhouse and around the field. He's definitely a very outgoing type of guy, and those cleats fit him very well. As we see a fly ball by Ruda, that'll do it for the third. We want to take the time and thank Adam for joining us today on Thursday Night Thunder.
Absolutely. No, thank you guys for having me on. It was great to be back here in the box, and hopefully we'll get to do it again soon.
And welcome back to Thursday Night Thunder, presented by MCIA. I am John Bodnar alongside Bryan Roth. Thinking about new floors for your home? Request a free estimate from Rich's Carpet One with one of their flooring experts today. Visit them at richescarpet1.com or call 609-890-6111. So, Bryan, as we pick up action here in the top of the sixth, a fairly quick ball game at this point with Bowie leading 1-0.
Yeah, not a whole lot of action here as Clark Schmidt works into the top of the sixth inning. Only three hits against Clark Schmidt, as we see a missed play at second base by Hoyt Park, and that's going to be an infield single. We'll see. Yes, an infield single to start off the first inning. But as we saw just a moment ago, two arms in the Thunder pen as we head into the sixth inning. So see if, as long as Clark Schmidt can get through this inning without any trouble, looks like it will be handed over to the bullpen in the seventh.
As we see a ground ball, Hoyt Park redeeming himself, flipping it over, and that's a double play. So Clark Schmidt gave up the single to start the inning, but gets a nice ground ball from Ryan Ripken. And we're two down here in the top of the sixth. And taking it back to the first half of this game, always good to catch up with Adam. Glad to hear that he's doing well in these uncertain times, and it was good to chat some Yankee baseball with him.
Yeah, Adam has, like we talked about earlier, Adam was with the organization for quite a while, so we spent, the two of us both spent many years with Adam, so it was great to see him, great to catch up with him, a very familiar voice, we could say, and maybe not a face, but definitely a familiar voice for Thunder fans between the 13 and 17 seasons. But it was great to catch up with Adam. And John, why don't you give us a little info on our next guest that'll be joining us in the seventh inning?
Yeah, so we're going to be joined from a few folks from the American Cancer Society. And it's obviously an organization that is probably going through some pretty chaotic times, as we all are. And, what we're going to discuss on the broadcast is their Real Men Wear Pink campaign, where our own mascot Slice is getting involved this year, and Slice obviously heavily involved in community efforts like all of our mascots, but really wanted to get involved when he heard Real Men Wear Pink. Slice definitely, I think, has an advantage. Last year, Boomer participated in this fundraising event last year, and it was great to see, and Slice had to get himself a piece of the action. I can't wait to ask Dan and our two other guests to hear from them about how their fundraising campaign's going, why they got involved, and obviously just a great thing that they do for the American Cancer Society.
Yes, we're excited to have them on in the seventh as we see fly ball from Brett Cumberland. That'll do it for the top of the sixth. Thunder bats are coming up. Stay tuned. And welcome back to Thursday Night Thunder here in the bottom of the sixth inning in a 1-0 ball game led by the Bowie Bay Sox. Hoyt Park leads off the bottom of the sixth. John, looks like we need to get these Thunder bats moving along. What do you hope to see from the Thunder going out here?
Yeah, definitely need to see the at bats going, and Hoyt's a great person to get into the box here. We saw him hit 2 home runs last week, 2 3-run home runs, and as you like to say, no doubters to right field. And let's see if we can get things going. And behind him, Esteban Florio was hitting .313 on the year with 10 home runs, 45 RBIs, and then hope Wagner, Deglin, Holder can break out of their cold streaks that they've kind of been in on this last little run here for the Trenton Thunder. But definitely an opportunity to get some things going with these batters.
As we see Park ground, soft ground into second base. That'll one away with Florio coming up. Like you said, Florio batting .313. Really hot as of late. The kind of the top of the order with Ruda, Park, and Florio all hitting. Park and Florio hitting over 300 with Ruda at 274. But that middle of the lineup, your power hitters, your guys that you want, constantly bringing in runs. Kind of cold as of this point in the season. So we're really looking for them to bounce back. Get some good at bats and some runs across here for the Thunder.
Yeah, I like how the lineup was put together tonight. You have a couple hot hitters there at the top with Ruda and Florio. Ruda riding the 8-game hit streak. And then, trying to get some guys to break out a little bit. Wagner, we see he's still hitting 281. We've seen that average dip a little bit with 12 home runs. Deglin really needs to get going. I think that's a guy to watch, hopefully, as we see a baseball hit up the middle. Nice little hit for Florio. And now we got something going with a runner on and one out.
Yes, Florio, that soft ground ball right up the middle. Pitcher couldn't grab it. So here we are with one on and one out here in the bottom of the sixth with Wagner coming to bat. Wagner, as we've mentioned, a Mercer County native, homegrown boy, so to speak. Always nice to see those guys as we check in on Florio at first. But a great pitching matchup so far. Solid pitching by Bowie's starter, Cody Sedlock. Came into the season 8-6 with a 3.63 RA. Punched out over 100 batters, 102 Ks this year. He's really been dealing for the Bay Sox.
Yeah, definitely see what the Orioles and Bowie sees in Sedlock tonight, as he was a first round pick, in the draft that he was taken in. Definitely has done some nice things as he approaches 80 pitches on the night, but has really shut these Thunder bats down so far. And Bowie really hoping that he can another clean slate here in the sixth and get them into the later part of this game.
As we see a ball taken by Wagner, the count moves to 2-2 here. And a beautiful night for baseball here, really. 61 degrees as it was at first pitch. And, this time of the year, that's what you look for. You look for beautiful nights of baseball and some of the things that we do miss, John. And, hope that everybody is staying safe at home and doing what they can to help this as Wagner shoots one through and the Thunder are threatening here. First and second with one out. And Kellen Deglin coming up with bat.
Yeah, Deglin, of course, the playoff MVP from a season ago in that championship run, really has some stability there behind the plate. Thunder obviously loaded with a lot of catching talent, Deglin being one of them. And the lefty looks to do some damage here.
Yes, as we see a off-speed strike to lead off the bat. Deglin coming into today hitting 217. 5 home runs and 33 RBIs on the year. And like you said, just another one of those deep catching guys for the Yankees organization that they've built so much around. It seems like every other year, they're taking a big prospect or catcher in the draft. As Deglin floats one to right, back goes the right fielder, and he can't make the play. That's going to be a 3-run home run for Deglin, his 6th of the year. That puts the Thunder ahead 3-1. It is a Hyundai home run.
Yeah, you see that home run just sneak over the wall. Diaz just can't make the play and right. I mean, it's right there. And Sedlock's got to be upset with himself as he sees that little, basically a bloop get out of the park. Obviously, Deglin had some power behind it, but as we take a look at the replay here, Diaz stretches out and just misses that ball. I mean, he could have got that a low fence out there, and the Thunder are fortunate to be up 3-1 here as we see our NJM Insurance Group first run scored for the Trenton Thunder. As you mentioned, they go up 3-1 here in the bottom of the sixth.
Yeah, a wall scraper indeed by Deglin, but just got enough, maybe a little wind pushing it out there. As we see Kyle Holder, the shortstop, step in. Holder coming in, batting 230. A speedy middle infielder. Liked a lot of what I've seen with Kyle Holder, especially last year. Had a little bit of struggles with the bat as we see him pop one up towards left field, but just a slick infielder. We've seen plenty of top 10 Sports Center type plays by Holder, shortstop last year. Just something he's special at with that glove.
Absolutely, and Kyle Holder just one of those slick fielding infielders that we've seen over the course of our time here with the Trenton Thunder. Obviously, another name that comes to mind, Cito Culver, was just masterful in the field. And, I mean, could just whip it across the diamond. Basically that arm strength that he had to get it over to first base. Thunder always great pitching, great defense, and that's a reason that we've seen so much success here in Trenton.
Yeah, Seedokover, that another first-round pick by the Yankees, and unfortunately not able to turn out as much as they wanted. As we see, Gittins pops up to the first baseman. That'll do it here in the sixth. But the Kellen Deglin 3-run home run puts the Thunder up 3-1. We'll be right back after this.
And welcome back, Thunder fans, to Thursday Night Thunder, presented by MCIA. And as we go into the top of the seventh, we do have a pitching change. Tonight's pitching change is brought to you by Life Storage. With several locations in the Mercer County area, Life Storage rents self-storage units of various sizes to best fit your storage needs. Save 10% per month and get up to 1 month free on specially marked self-storage units when you reserve online today. Visit lifestorage.com for info and details. Now, as we get to the action here in the top of the seventh, we are joined by Dan Paschke and Bob Kennedy. Dan is the Community Development Manager for American Cancer Society, and Bob is a Business Performance Advisor from Insperity. Guys, welcome to tonight's broadcast.
Hey, thanks so much for having us.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having us.
Great to have you guys up here. And as we kind of discussed last inning, Bryan, Dan heads up the Real Men Wear Pink campaign. But Dan, why don't you tell us a little bit about, what's going on there and what you guys have been up to so far?
So the Real Men Wear Pink campaign here in South Jersey is realistically a campaign for the men to support all the wives, sisters, mothers, daughters in our lives, and support them through breast cancer, raise money for awareness, and also support the men that get it too. It's just not the women that get breast cancer. Guys get it too, and we just want to make sure that everybody's aware of that. So that's really what we're here doing. Loving watching the baseball game and getting together and just, for camaraderie and, slight competition between everybody too.
Absolutely. And it's definitely a great cause, as our mascot friend Boomer, who we had last week, his best friend Paul on Thursday Night Thunder joined us and was a candidate in last year's event. And as we alluded to last inning, Slice is a candidate for us this year. And Bryan and I discussed that we believe that Slice has a huge advantage when it comes to his fundraising efforts, because he's pink all the time. He doesn't just wear pink, he is pink. So, definitely we believe a slight advantage for him as the fundraising efforts go along. And we were able to set up Slice's fundraising efforts yesterday. Just a great cause, and we enjoy our partnership that we've developed with the American Cancer Society over the past couple of years.
Agreed. Slice might have that little bit of an advantage, but we're really hoping that people like Bob can really, take him for a run for his money and see who really can raise the most for it. It's all going to a good cause, and everybody's loved that part.
Absolutely. As we see a strikeout here to end the top of the seventh, we go mid-seventh, and it's time to stand up, stretch out, and as we enjoy the God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
And welcome back to Thursday Night Thunder. We have a pitching change here in the bottom of the 7th as Jay Flaw will come in and relieve the starting pitcher Cody Sedlock here in the bottom of the 7th for the Bowie Bay Sox. Jay Flaw, his 51st appearance on the year with a 3.55 ERA and 41 strikeouts, has been doing a great job out of the bullpen here for the Bay Sox. And as Zach Zahner steps in here in the bottom of the 7th.
So as we pick back up here, we are still joined by Dan Paschke and Bob Kennedy. And Bob, I want to go over to you here. Tell us a little bit about what you do for Insperity as a business performance advisor.
As a business performance advisor for Insperity, I look for opportunities meeting with small to mid-sized businesses, trying to help them with their back-end HR needs. We're a high-tech, high-touch company with human capital in mind and trying to keep them structured and safe.
Awesome. And as a candidate in the Real Men Wear Pink campaign, what brought you, what inspired you to get involved in such a great organization, such a great cause?
My initial involvement was when I met Dan, and he told me the passion he had for what the Real Men Wear Pink's about. I've had that with my grandparents, or grandmother and grandfather both had cancer, and I felt it's something I should get involved in. It's a great cause. Insperity works on probably 40% of nonprofit business, so we try to get involved in any way we can.
That's great. And how do you feel about your chances of out fundraising our mascot Slice in your fundraising efforts?
He does have a slight advantage always wearing pink and being out there, but I'll make my best effort to do what I can to rattle the cages a little bit.
All right. We always love the friendly competition as we see Zach Zahner really battling here in the bottom of the 7th. Dan, give us a little bit of insight on how our fans can get involved and help, Slice's fundraising efforts.
Well, the best way that they can help Slice out is obviously go to Slice's Real Men Wear Pink page and make a direct donation to Slice or anybody, even if it's Bob or any of the other candidates that we're going to have throughout the year. The other option is to always, reach out if they want to become a Real Man candidate themselves. If they know somebody that wants to get involved, they're more than welcome to reach out to me and get directly involved. I'll put in this for Bob. Bob's been on the wings helping out a bunch of other candidates in the past couple years. So we're really excited and eager to see what he's going to do this year. He's been helping out other real men, and now that his name is finally up there, it's definitely going to be nice.
That's great. Love to hear it, and we're excited as an organization to be involved in such a great campaign and hope to do our part and for what we can to help raise awareness and really, raise some money for a great cause.
Yeah. It really is a great cause, and one of the things that I'll say is that the guys get together periodically throughout the year and really just get to know each other, really to know them as individuals, and to see those friendships and those connections grow throughout the year and throughout the years, pluralized. It's fun to see that. There's some lifelong friends, lifelong business partners now that have grown and developed, and we're happy that we could be a part of that as the American Cancer Society, help others grow their business outside of our organization too.
Great, and I know last year Boomer was able to get involved in a couple of events that were ongoing, and you held some different fun events for the Real Men Wear Pink campaign. What are some of the things that you're doing and have to adapt with this new reality that we're living in? What are some of the challenges that you're facing on a day-to-day basis with this new world that we're living in with the virtual baseball games, virtual networking? How are you adapting?
The Real Men campaign is really adapting to become virtual. Thankfully, all the guys involved really are stepping up and able to be a part of that. As we can see Bob here in our game, able to reach out, email, phone call, all that sort of stuff. It's great. It's going to be much more networking like this and happy hours together on the computer screen. Last year, we were able to go to breweries, distillery, Tesla for some test drives and fun events like that to bring the guys together. This year, we're going to have to make sure that we can do that at the end of the year, but we're definitely still going to do that for the guys to get together and have those unique bonding experiences. But our mission at American Cancer Society is still not stopping. We're still there fighting cancer every day. So even though people really can't go out, the hospitals have an influx of this pandemic. We're still there trying to make sure that we're able to answer questions if they call our hotline at 1-800-227-2345. We're still there. They can go to our website, cancer.org, whatever it is. So we're still raising money to raise awareness and find a cure.
As the new pitcher here in the top of the eighth, Brandon Bristow comes in to relieve duties from David Sosby. Bristow, for his 30th appearance, having a little bit trouble with runs against. 5.64 ERA with 24 Ks. A little bit of struggle here from Bristow here, but in a big role here in the top of the eighth to try to lock down the order of Bowie to potential comeback.
And as we continue along here, Dan and Bob, obviously we're watching a virtual baseball game right now, and we saw ESPN pick up some Korean baseball games, I believe, to try to help fill the void with sporting events in the United States not happening right now. As I'm sure you guys are sports fans, what's like one of the number one things you're missing right now in the sports world?
I guess, well, for me, with the top 10, missing the top 10, just seeing regular games. It's nice seeing the games from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s and whatever, but it's not guys I'm watching now and getting my kids passionate about watching.
I definitely miss the hot dogs, going out to the baseball games and literally just having a hot dog and a beer, that togetherness with the family and friends, whoever I'm with, I'll like all sports. I'll watch them all, but it's just being outside there at the live event. That's what I'm really missing. So I'm sure that we'll be at every home Thunder game as soon as you guys are able to start.
That's great to hear. And yeah, we are definitely missing it here in Trenton. The Thursday Night Thunder has been a fun weekly thing for us to look forward to and for our fans to look forward to. And in past weeks we've had players on. We've had earlier in tonight's broadcast we brought on one of our former broadcasters as we see a strikeout here to begin the inning for the Trenton Thunder. It's been a lot of fun, but it sure doesn't take the place as you were saying, Bob, seeing the old time game, seeing the virtual game. Nothing quite has that same feel of live sports, and we're looking forward to getting back to that, seeing hopefully the Yankees taking the field soon, the Thunder taking the field soon. Looking forward to NFL football in the fall, and getting back to that normalcy. I just think is something that everybody is surely looking forward to.
Oh, without a doubt. We were supposed to be actually Trenton Thunder 2 weeks ago for a Holy Cross baseball game. My son plays for Holy Cross High School, and he definitely missed out on that opportunity, and that was something he was looking forward to all year.
Yeah, we have great relationships with a lot of local high schools. We have, that's always one of the things that I look forward to is not only seeing the events that go on during our 70-game season, but the opportunity for local high school athletes to be able to take the field here at Arm & Hammer Park and play where some of the great Thunder and great Yankee players have played. It is always fun to see their reactions as we see a single to the left side for Bowie as they look to try to start a rally here in the top of the eighth inning. But as I was saying, the looks on their faces and the excitement after the game, win or lose, that those high school athletes get to see, and my heart goes out to all of the high school athletes, but especially those seniors at both the high school and the college level that saw their senior seasons cut short, is something that they'll forever not be able to get, and it's truly heartbreaking to see all that work that they put in and didn't get to see it through.
Yeah, real shame for, like you said, a lot of the seniors that weren't able to play out their final seasons, whether it's high school or college. As former high school athletes, myself, it's so much fun to be able to build those relationships and play with your friends and your colleagues. And, you always look forward to that senior year. It's always so special. For some people that don't go on to play college athletics, especially in high school, it's your last time, suiting up. And I felt the same way when I played, and I played hockey in high school, and suiting up in that those pads and the uniform for the last time, not knowing if you'll ever lace them up or play ever again. So our hearts go out to all those kids that may never get a chance to lace them up or put the cleats on one more time. It is a shame, and especially for the seniors that aren't going to be able to get that that graduation walk and to receive their diploma like you always dream about. As we see a fly out here from Ryan Rifkin, we got 2 away. It's the Thunder go to the pen again with Daniel Alvarez coming in to try to get the final out here in the 8th inning. But we all hope and hope that everything comes back to normal soon, so we can go about our lives and live a normal life again. Obviously there's always going to be concern but to be able to go to sporting events and be with the community and get to meet people like Dan and like Bob, so we can build relationships with people and make these relationships that we have from the Thunder to people like you guys to build those up.
Yeah, it's really gone through a handshake draw.
Yeah, that was one of the craziest things when this first off started. When we were still gathering, those last couple of days before everything shut down. I believe there was a Burlington Regional Chamber of Commerce luncheon that still went on, but the rules were in place of no handshaking and really just trying to not be too close to people and from there, obviously now we're the 6 feet apart rules and all the social distancing rules that are going on, and I think it's going to take some time to truly get back to the way we were, if we ever return back to the way we were. I think people would just be a little bit more cautious, but you think about all those events and sporting events where you're really compacted in, whether it's just in the seating bowl or in the bathrooms or anything along those lines, just how compact we were as a society and thinking back to it. Now you watch things on TV and you're like, oh my gosh, like they're shaking somebody's hand or they're in a close encounter. But hopefully we do get back to some normalcy soon, and we look forward to putting on Thunder baseball, of course, when that happens.
Absolutely. Need the crack of the bat and the hot dogs, and I'm ready.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And, the Thunder a bit of a jam here with 2 on, a full count, as Daniel Alvarez, another one of those Trenton Thunder All-Stars from a year ago. Alvarez, as Bryan mentioned, came into this game. Hasn't had a whole lot of work so far this year, but has been pitching in very important times for these Thunder. 8 holds and 10 appearances, and a ball hit to center field, tracking it well, and that warning track power. And a nice grab there by Florio. We are through 8.5, and it is 3-1 Thunder.
Fans, I'm on the first base side for the waste management trash race. I have Leah and Ariel here who are going to race one by one, throwing their pieces of trash out. And the last piece of trash they're going to throw out is a piñata hat. And that is the final piece of trash. So the first girl to throw that piece of trash out is our waste management trash race winner. Leah and Ariel, on your marks, get set, go! They're off throwing out their trash, helping to clean up Arm and Hammer Park. Whoa! Ariel taking a little bit of a lead as she upset her bag of trash. Keep going, keep going. Remember, the hat's the last piece of trash to be thrown out. Oh, and there is the hat. Congratulations, Leah. You're the Waste Management Trash Race winner.
And we are back here on Thursday Night Thunder, presented by MCIA. And there is a pitching change. Reed Love into the game. And Bryan, why don't you tell us about Reed?
Yeah, Reed coming in for his 49th appearance this year, tossing a 3.99 ERA. So not as good as you would expect from Reed, and he probably hopes to bring that down a little bit here with 53 Ks. And lefties are getting the best of him here as Hoyt Park steps in. Lefties batting 310 against Reed up to this point. So looking for Park to start it off to get a little insurance here in the bottom of the eighth.
And Bryan, it's funny that the lefties are hitting 310 against Reed. I mean, in this day and age, with the lefty-lefty matchup, the righty-righty matchup, I mean, all these specialty pitchers and Reed having such a difficult time so far this year against left-handed pitching. Maybe an odd move by the Bowie manager to go to Reed in this spot.
Yeah, and something we won't see much of moving forward. Those lefty specialists with the new Major League Baseball rules, where a new pitcher must face a minimum of 3 batters. So the lefty specialist really goes away. As a lefty, you're gonna really have to be dominant to make your way through the league and stay in a bullpen role. As Hoyt Park works a leadoff walk here for the Thunder with the hot-hitting Estevan Florial coming up. As he's another lefty here, so, hoping the Thunder can feed off this leadoff walk to get some things going.
Yeah, Thunder just propelled by Kellen Deglin tonight with the three-run home run back in the 6th inning. Other than that, the bat's been really quiet. But as we continue along here, we're still joined by Dan Paschke and Bob Kennedy, both heavily involved in the Real Men Wear Pink campaign, as well as our mascot Slice. So we hope that everybody can log on and help the community out by donating to Slice or any of the gentlemen involved in the Real Men Wear Pink campaign. We would definitely appreciate it. We know Dan and Bob would as well. So anything that you can do to help, please log on, and we would greatly appreciate it. As we see a ground ball there and a fielder's choice against the Thunder, and Brandon Wagner steps up into the plate. But Dan, I'll go back to you here and Bob, start thinking about your answer for this question. But what is one thing that you guys have learned about yourself while in this quarantine? I'm very interested to hear about things come out when we've been locked inside for all this time. So Dan, why don't you start us off?
I have learned how many meetings truly can just be a couple of emails, and it's been really fantastic to answer an email when I get a chance to and not be forced into an hour-long meetings. So, but about myself, I think that I've really learned that I enjoy a lot of good cooking, more than I did. I can live off of peanut butter and jellies, but I've been enjoying trying new foods and tastes and flavors and looking up new recipes, as I'm not able to go out to restaurants like I'm used to. So it's been really nice trying to discover some of those recipes.
I guess things that I've learned, one, how much more business I can conduct, like Dan said, mostly on Zooms. I'm on my 9th Zoom for the week, and usually I'll be in a car for a longer period of time trying to get to these locations, and being able to hit 2, 3, 4 different groups in a couple hours is a lot nicer. As for, I guess, living at home, I've taken advantage of my son being home from college. He had to leave college early, and he is a college senior, so that made it more enjoyable that I had both my sons home for a longer period of time, being able to bond with them, teach them old school, pinochle card game that I grew up on, and just having that bonding time to sit down and have regular meals every night with them.
Yeah. I did not know that you played pinochle.
I do.
That is, not many people know how to play that anymore, and we're going to have to sit down and play that next time.
Absolutely.
We can actually see each other in person.
Yeah, as we see the Thunder threatening here with 1 out after that single by Brandon Wagner to move Floral over to third base with the home run hitter from a couple innings ago, Kellen Deglin up. And yes, I think in this quarantine, the Zooms have become very popular. Not throughout just in businesses, but schools and a lot of other places are using these for learning, and I think through this time, the Zoom has gotten so popular that myself and I know John, catching up with old friends or people that you don't normally do. I think people are getting more involved in these Zooms and just making them just for fun. And, we set up a happy hour a couple of days ago with some old buddies that we used to work with. And to be able to sit there and, for an hour or two and just catch up, something you wouldn't normally do when your crazy lives and everybody's running around and doing their own things. And, friends and family, it's nice to be able to catch up with those people and talk where you don't normally have that kind of time.
A ground ball out there for the final out of the inning. I want to thank Dan and Bob for joining us here tonight on Thursday Night Thunder. I wish you well and stay safe out there.
Thank you. You the same.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Welcome back, Trenton Thunder fans, to Thursday Night Thunder, presented by MCIA. I am John Bodnar alongside Bryan Rock as we go to the top of the ninth. And another pitching change for the Trenton Thunder as they go to their closer, Brooks Kriske. Bryan, tell us a little bit about Kriske. We've seen him quite a bit on Thursday Night Thunder.
Yeah, Kriske, a big contributor here on Thursday Night Thunder, coming in looking for his 32nd save of the year in his 34th opportunity. So only 2 blown saves. With 35 and a third innings so far this year. A real reliable arm out of that back end of that bullpen for the Thunder, really putting these games as Cumberland hits one deep to right, and that ball is gone. And Bowie looking to come back here with a top of the ninth leadoff home run, makes it 3-2, and the Thunder are a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, definitely a little bit of trouble here. That's not the way you want to start off the inning if you're a closer. And Kriske's definitely been solid as he's got a few saves now on Thursday Night Thunder, but definitely not the way he saw his night going with really a big fly to right field. And it's where we've seen most of the balls go out here at Crystal Falls Stadium.
Yeah, definitely a hitter friendly to right field, almost Yankee Stadium-esque for the Little Yankees, the Double-A affiliate of them, the Trenton Thunder. Looking like it's a little bit of jet stream going out to right field. We've seen quite a bit of home runs on Thursday Night Thunder, most of them going down to right field and not, except Deglin's earlier today, the wall scraper, but we've seen a couple real big fly deep home runs here at Crystal Falls Stadium.
Absolutely. And other than the home run tonight by Cumberland, a good showing here for the Thunder bullpen. As always, definitely some strong arms coming out of there. We saw Sosby, we've seen Bristro and Alvarez, the 3 arms out of the bullpen for the Thunder, and behind Schmidt's solid outing today.
Yeah, a lot of great arms in there as Kriske gets a ground out here for the first out at the top of the ninth. Sosby and Bristow, a couple, 2 guys that we've seen quite a bit of this season, along with Kriske. Alvarez only a few appearances this year. But, a lot of real solid arms coming out of the back end of that Thunder bullpen to help close these games out. And that's why the Thunder are in the position they are, leading the Eastern Division this year.
Yeah, solid pitching tonight as well from Bowie, as we saw Cody Sedlock get the ball in the start. And besides that home run to Deglin, pitched really well. And they turned it over to their bullpen and were able to shut down the Thunder with out any problems. So a well-pitched ball game, played well defensively, and 3-2 here in the ninth. So definitely some excitement for the fans that are in attendance.
Yeah, real pitcher's duel all the way through. Great outing by Sedlock and Schmidt to start us off. Both going 6 innings. Like I said, outside of the Deglin 3-run homer, that was really the biggest play of this game so far. A couple hits for Bowie here and there, but Schmidt was able to silence that and get the Thunder through those tough innings. So 6 solid for both pitchers and got us to this point. Great work by both bullpens so far, and both teams have done well on the pitching side. Not your big fly type of games that we've seen in the past here on Thursday Night Thunder, but a good pitcher's duel for everybody here watching tonight.
Yeah, definitely a lot of fun, and we certainly had a lot of fun here tonight as we continue on with the 3-2 count. Getting to spend some time with Adam and Dan and Bob on the broadcast. Always good to meet new faces, and talk to those old ones as well. As you mentioned last inning, being able to reconnect with those that might not have been able to talk to. And now with all the Zoom meetings, we've certainly been catching up with some, as we see a ground out there, a nice play by Wagner, as there are now 2 outs, and Yvonne Cortez steps to the plate as the last chance for Bowie.
Yeah, like you said, it was great to be able to catch up with Adam. It's definitely been a while since we were able to speak to him, and we miss Adam. We miss our appearance going up to Scranton, as we probably would have, to check him out and Scranton, that ball club out this year. So, very unfortunate. And it was nice to meet Dan and Bob, 2 guys that I haven't met before. So, and learn more about the Real Men Wear Pink campaign. And, we're excited to get that kicked off. And, we hope everybody can do what they can and help a great organization and get sliced that top donation, as we see strike 3. And that will do it here on Thursday Night Thunder. Frisky picks up the save, and the Thunder win 3-2 over the Bowie Bay Sox. And the player of the game tonight, Clark Schmidt, with the win, 6 innings, 4 strikeouts, and just the 1 run. Thunder win again against Bowie, 3-2. Thank you for joining us on Thursday Night Thunder.